there is a Parsi saint who has come into Arangaon, and my father, my uncle Noshirwan Mama, one of my another uncle called Pilu Mama, and my aunt Gula Mama, they all went to visit Baba at Meherabad. When they went to see Baba, Baba was sitting under a tree. There was nothing constructed at Meherabad. It was just a barren land. So Baba was sitting under a tree and singing very, very beautifully. In those days, there were no buildings, nothing. There were fields and fields and fields of land. In between, there would be a small farmer's hut at the most. So my father and they all met, and then Baba asked who they were, what are their names, where do they stay. So after giving introduction, my father said, Baba asked, how many brothers and sisters you are? So my father said, we are 5 brothers and I have 4 sisters. So Baba said, from today, you have 6 brothers. I am one of them. And then Baba asked where they lived. So our house is situated between Meherabad and Trust Office. It is still called Akbar Press. But now there is nobody staying over there, unfortunately. But one of my uncle who had met Baba, Noshirwan Mama, is this year 100 years old and he's still alive at Nagar. 100 years old, yes. Anyway, so that is how Baba was introduced to the family. Then Baba started coming to our house at Akbar Press, and he walked into the house. The first time when he came, my grandfather was also alive. He was sitting on the veranda and reading Zoroastrian prayer book. He got up, greeted Baba. Baba also gave him a good embrace. And he told my grandfather that I'm also now your son. So he started coming to house like one of his children. So he would walk right up to the kitchen and see what is going on, because Parsis cook good food. And we like to eat good food too. So Baba would come. He was just like one of our family. Just like. He used to just make us forget that he was God when he used to come home. He would go, take food, sit and eat. So all these things were going on. In 1942, my mother died. And in that same 42, one of my uncle died. Another one of my aunt died. 3 people died in just 4-5 months' time, one after another. So these 3 families joined together and we all shifted from Bombay to Ahmednagar, because in Bombay we had to pay rent for our house, whereas this was ancestors' house. And my aunt, who lost her husband, had 7 children, and her husband had left her only 1,500 rupees. So these 2 brothers said that we'll finance you and you take care of our children along with your children. So that's how we all shifted to Ahmednagar. Baba used to come to house very often. On his way to Adi, he would stop at the house, do like this to ourselves. And in those days, there were not many cars. There used to be only Tonga and bullock carts. So Baba would honk from far. We would know that he's coming. We would all run to the gate, greet him, and then he would tell us what time he's coming back. So we would say sometimes, keep food ready. So everything would be ready. He would come home, eat, be with us all, then proceed. One day after Baba finished his meal, in India we do not have water for 24 hours in the tap. We get very limited water at certain times only. So there was no, we had a basin where we could wash our hands, but there was no water in the tap. So we always had a bucket full kept near that place, and we would pour water on our hands to wash our hands. Anyway, so Baba had finished his eating and I was pouring water on his hand. By misfortune, I poured little faster on his hand. So he caught my hand and said, "Stop. You should not waste water like that. Use water, but do not waste water." I looked at his face and he said, "Do you know how much trouble God has to go through to make this water?" And I said, "I did not know." Because I was 5, 6 years old, maybe. So he said, God has to heat up all the 7 seas, the rivers, the lakes, and then the water is evaporated and made into clouds. That's not the only thing he has to do. He has to carry all these clouds from places to places and send his blessings down in the form of rain where it is needed. So, use water, but don't waste water. I said, "Yes, Baba. I'm sorry, Baba." And that time I was not speaking English as I am speaking today. I used to talk to him in Gujarati. Haji Baba, Haji. So anyway, that thing passed away. Then after my mother had died, we had all gone to see Baba for the first time at Meherabad. In our family had a tonga. So we all went and Baba was sitting in the Rowry cabin. When Baba called me near, gave me an embrace, he told my father that he should not worry about me because rest of my brothers and sisters, 2 sisters and 1 brother, they all had progressive dystrophy. That is like a polio. And I was little, say 4.5 to 5 years old when my mother died. And Baba took me on his lap and said to my father, "Mummy, you don't worry about this child. I tell you, I will take care of her. But I am ordering you, you should not take her to any physicians, any saints or any shrines. You must just do what I tell you to do for this child." My father said, "Okay, Baba." Then it was lunch time in the afternoon. So Baba told the men folks to eat with the Mandli at the lower Meherabad. And he took me to the upper Meherabad. I was very little and Baba used to walk very fast in those days. He was like a light to me. And so I walked with him. By the time the railway tracks came, I was panting because I was little and I could not cope up with Baba. And I said, "Baba, I can't walk fast like you." So he looks at me and then I said, "How far we have to go more?" He says, "Up the hill." And then I said, "Baba, I can't climb that mountain. I can't climb that mountain." So now what to do? So he said, "Okay, let's go across." So we crossed the railway tracks and then he sat down and told me to sit on his shoulder. So I sat down. In India, it's very common. You take a child and put it on your shoulder and walk. So, but he said with sign, though I was little, but Baba's gestures were so sweet and so direct. We did not have somebody to tell us most of the time. So he said to me, if I see somebody on the hill, I must get off. I said, yes, Baba. So he walked for some distance, and by that time, what I was tired also got subsided. And I saw a very fat lady sitting under the water tank. It was Carmen Masi. She was sitting on the watch. They used to have somebody seated there. So when Baba came from Lower Meherabad for his lunch, so they go and inform in the kitchen that Baba is coming. So if Baba's tray would be prepared and brought to his room. So I said, and I got off, and Baba caught my finger and walked up to his room. The Mera and Mani were there waiting for Baba. Baba told me to greet them, and they were also very happy to see me. After all that was finished, Kitty was around, Kitty Devi. So Baba told Kitty, because at that time, Eruch's mother, Gaimai, Manu, sister, Meru, and my auntie Gula Mama, they were all staying at Upper Meherabad. So, and that day was the day when it was Gaimai's turn to cook in the kitchen. So Kitty was told to take me to the kitchen and give food. I still remember I had lovely dal and rice and spinach. Yes. So after I finished my meal, I was brought back to Baba, and Baba asked Kitty, do we have something sweet for this little child? So yes, Baba, we have chicky. You know, this peanut butter toffee, which they make in India, is called chicky. So she went and brought from somewhere a piece of that peanut butter toffee for me. Baba gave it to me. After a little while, Baba said, now let's go. So going down the hill was very fun. I could run with him, but climbing up was not possible. And then he took me back to the Rowry cabin where all my rest of the family was waiting, and we went back home in our Tonga. Then another incident I remember very well is our Annavaz's wedding in 1945, if I am not mistaken. She got married. And there was a big feast given on the top of the Meherabad Hill. In the meantime, whenever Baba and the ladies were going to see the movie at Sarosh Theatre, which was run by our Sarosh Irani, Baba lover, Baba would send a message to our family that we should be all ready early in the morning, 5 o'clock. We used to go to movies 5 o'clock. Yes. And go back home by 8 o'clock after watching 2-3 small movies like Laurel and Hardy and Charlie Chaplin and things like that. So we used to get ready and go. So anyway, when Annavaz's wedding party was there on up the hill, they had brought 3-tier big cake up on the hill. Yeah. And in those British days, they used to put silver charms in the cake. So everybody, whoever gets the slice, gets a silver charm in it. And Baba and Mera had cut the cake. Everybody was given nice big pieces of cake. Yeah, very delicious. And in my piece of cake, there was a little silver donkey. Next to me, Adi Senior's mother was sitting, Gulmai. So when she saw the donkey, she understood what it meant. But I was a little child, I did not know the meaning of what the donkey was for. Anyways, she's telling me she had a very beautiful, uh, auspicious charm called swastika in India. So she tells me, you take this and you give me your charm. And when Baba was looking at us from far, he snapped his finger and said, what are you two talking? I was an innocent child and I got up and I said, Baba, Ghulam Amma is telling me to give my charm to her and take her charm. I got donkey, Baba. So Baba says to Adi's mother, that's not going to change her fortune. If you exchange these charms, she has to slog like a donkey all her life. Give it back. Give back the donkey to her. So I got back my donkey. And I have always noticed work is always waiting for me wherever I go. If it is not waiting for me, I like to work. I find out something to do. Something. Anyway. So then we all had to do little concert. And one day Baba, all of a sudden Baba used to have every evening, he would sit on that seat opposite to Mansari's room, that shade where we all eat our lunch sometimes. So at the Gadi, he used to always have a seat in the evening when he came up from Lower Meherabad and had his lunch or a dinner. Because those days we did not have electricity. So everything was done in lanterns. So everyone would have our meals in the evening by 5 o'clock before the sunset. And then Baba would call everybody to come there. And when there are 30, 40 women staying under one roof, there's something bound to happen. Something has to happen. And that was Baba's entertainment. He would ask, who had a fight today? Who had misunderstandings today? So those who had something with each other would come out and do the performance. And Baba would laugh, like you all are having fun listening to me. That time Baba used to have that fun because there were no radios, no gramophones, no TV, and no satellite. So that's how, and no movies too. So that's how we used to entertain Baba. And every day something has to be. Otherwise, Baba's sister Mani would make a nice small skit and she would teach ladies to perform. And Baba always liked Naja to do the men's part. Sometimes she would become Nawab, sometimes she would become a farmer, sometimes she would become goldsmith, sometimes a ironsmith, cobbler. She used to do a lot of, and Mani used to make lovely noses out of wheat dough. Many a times she would make it in the morning and put it out and the crow would fly away. So many a times, yeah, she would make lovely faces. She would put it on Naja's face and make good dressing because then we did not have other facilities, you see. And then she would paint it very nicely. And that's how Baba was entertained. And one day, I remember I was there. Kitty liked to speak Marathi, but she could speak, but she could not understand what she is speaking. So she wanted to do something at the tap, and Walubai, a Baba lover, she was washing Baba's clothes. It was her day to do the washing. So she was washing clothes, and Kitty comes there, and Kitty also wanted to do washing. So she tells Walubai that Java tu sampli tawamala sa. That means in Marathi language, when you are dead, you come and tell me. So naturally, Walubai starts to laugh. And Kitty does not understand. She's looking. Tula sangitli, Java tu sampli tawamala sang. Again, Walubai is laughing. So when she is laughing too much, she goes to Gaimai, who was in the kitchen. Why is Walu laughing at me? I'm telling her, when she has finished, to come and tell me. But then Gaimai asked, what did you tell her? So then Gaimai told the meaning of what she told her. And that is the reason why she is laughing at me. Gaimai said, how can she come and tell you when she's dead? You are telling her to come and tell you when she's dead. That is why she's laughing at you. Oh, I see. Then you tell Guy, you tell. So Guy Mama told Walubai that after you finish washing, Kitty wants to do some washing. Okay. And that evening when Baba came, and when he was told about this incident, Baba laughed till he became pink. Yes. So that was how it used to be. Then I stayed in Ahmednagar for many, many years. And then I had to go to Bombay to study. I went actually for my uncle's wedding. And then my father wrote a letter. I think he must have taken Baba's permission that I want Roshan to learn something else, because in Ahmednagar, in Marathi school, there was very limited teaching was done, and no handicraft or no stitching facilities were there. So when I went to Bombay, my father wrote to my granny that keep her in Bombay and make her learn some stitching. So there I started taking a diploma for garment designing and stitching. So I took my London diploma there. But in those 5 years, there was something else that was waiting for me. There used how Eruch is to our beloved Baba in Sai Baba's time. There was a little boy who worked for Sai Baba. His name was Kamu. So then later on, when Sai Baba died, he had blessed him to cure people, advise people, things like that. So Kamu Baba was staying in Bombay, and he had a cancer in the throat. He was very bad. In India at that time, in 50s, there was not much of a cure, no medications and nothing much. So anyway, I don't remember how for the first time I went to Kamu Baba. But Kamu Baba, when I went to see him, he told me to write a letter to Baba saying, Baba, this is hurting me too much, and I beg you to relieve me from my pain. So I wrote a letter, and after that time, Ghaver used to write letters to me in Gujarati. And Baba told me to take that Baba's letter to him, read it out to him, and write back the replies. So I was doing that job for 5 years when I was in Bombay studying. Anyway, that was Baba's work for me to do. And there was another saint also in India at that time by the name of Gadge Maharaj. He also used to come to our Akbar press very often, very, very often. And he used to say, "This is my mother's house, parental house, for our house." And he also used to come like Baba used to come with authority and tell us, "Come on, girls, get up and cook for me." Then we would do food for him. He would sit and eat. And very nice. For the first time when he met Baba in our house, Baba had already come to Akbar Press to see the family. He was in the bungalow. And Gadge Maharaj came from his tour. He always used to tour around the villages, advising people not to drink alcohol, not to beat your wife, take care, how to take care of the farms and things. He was very nice man. And he came. So he was coming from, we have a big bungalow in, and there is a small attached cottage like thing next to the bungalow. But in between there is a 3 feet gap, like a small passage to walk through. So he was coming in, and Baba also came out from the back door to see him. And I was with Baba. When Baba saw Gadge Maharaj, he stopped. And Gadge Maharaj, how in India, when you see a great person, they go right on the floor. What is that called? Prostrate. Yeah. And he got up, and Baba and Gadge Maharaj greeted each other. But I tell you, I just could not look at them both. It was like negative and positive electricity greeting each other and the sparks. And then Baba said to me to go away. This was Baba's sign. When he did not want us to be in his presence, he would do like this, so we go away. So I went inside. And then they both came inside and seated in the house where my sister was sitting, my auntie was sitting. And then Baba went back to Meherabad, and Gadge Maharaj stayed in the house for a day or so. He always used to wear a kafni with lot of patches. Every time he came from the tour, if he had a tear, he would tell us to put on a patch to his clothes. And he liked my father very much, and he would always ask my father to give him socks. And my father had a habit of wearing matching socks to his jacket, and he liked to wear new socks very often. So he had a big collection of socks. Yeah. So whenever Gadge Maharaj came, he would ask him to give him socks. So my father would take out a big bundle of his socks and put it in front of him to select whichever he liked to take. So he always used to take one sock. But my father would say, "Baba, take two. How can I wear one yellow and one blue if you take like that?" No, you wear one, I wear one. Then I used to tell Papa, who goes to see which socks you wear? You wear long pants. Nothing has been seen. It makes no difference whether you wear. No, I don't like. Then he had collected lots of socks. So anyway, Gadge Maharaj used to come. Baba used to come. Once, Gadge Maharaj had come to the house, and one of my cousin brother by the name of Savak Damanya was very, very ill. He was in the hospital, very ill. He was bleeding from the kidney. So they had put him on the ice slab. And Dr. Pedersen was in the hospital, a British doctor. And nearly they had given up the hope that he could be saved. And the news, Adi had come also, Adi Kaka, to tell us about this news. And Gadge Maharaj was there. I was working in the kitchen, preparing meal for him. So Adi came and told that Savaksa is very serious. And Gadge Maharaj asked Adi what was the matter, this, that, and the other. Then Gadge Maharaj tells me, go get the water boiling we in India those days used to heat up our bath water in a big copper barrel like, and there used to be a funnel in the center where you put logs, and the fire would make the water hot. You open the tap and fill your bucket and have your bath. So anyway, he told me to get the water heated absolutely boiling hot. So I told my servant to make the water absolutely boiling hot. It was bubbling inside. And he asked me to give him a bucket and a mug. He put the water to feel in that bucket under the tap. And he had worn his own kafni. It was still on his body. He just started pouring water on himself, boiling hot. But not a single blister he got. Then we did not stand there to watch him. Then where I was doing my cooking in the kitchen, he came as Adi had just finished telling about Savaksa's health to his mother, Shirinmai. And so Gadge Maharaj walked into the kitchen, grabbed my hand and said, go with Adi. I said, where? Go to Baba and tell him that everything is going to be fine. I have taken care of. So, but I said, I can't go to Baba without Baba's permission. And Adi Senior also was telling Gadge Maharaj, I can't take this guy. But Gadge Maharaj tells me that when you see Baba, you tell him that I have sent you. He will not scold you. I said, all right. So he took me right up to Adi's car. Adi said, but Baba, I will tell whatever you're trying to tell. You take this girl. She will tell. So he opened the Adi's car door, pushed me in, and then Adi and I, we both went to Meherabad. I still remember that was the day when Meher Desai and his father and aunt and mother, they all had come to Meherabad because Meher had passed her MBBS. And they had all come to see Baba. Meher Desai is the daughter of Mansari's brother. So anyway, they were all sitting in Baba's room, and I waited outside till Adi tells me to come in. So when I went, I was waiting. Then Adi went inside and told Baba all about what Gadge Maharaj said. So then Baba called me in. I still remember I had nice blue skirt and blue blouse. Yeah. And first when I went in, Baba called me near, gave me an embrace, says, you look very beautiful. I said, thank you, Baba. And Then he tells Ghaver, okay, Ghaver, go in the kitchen and bring the platter on which they make chapati and bring the slit on the back of the tawa. It is called tawa on which they bake the chapati. So she went into the kitchen and brought the tawa. So Baba told her to hold it upside down. She let it cool off and then brought it. It wasn't very hot. So Baba puts his 3 fingers on that black slit and he puts on my face. Here, here, here. I just keep quiet. I said nothing. And Baba told me not to wash your face. It will go away on its own. It is okay. But you don't wash your face. You go like that back. So I went back home just like that. And I had come at that time for Baba's Darshan program with the Bombay group in the train. The whole Dada Chanji family, boys and ladies and all the Baba lovers, Parsi Baba lovers, we all had come from Bombay for Baba's program in Nagar at that time. And I had to go back to Bombay by evening train. So I had to go with black face. Everybody in that train would ask me, what happened, Roshan? Why didn't you wash your face? I said, I'm sorry. Baba said to keep that black face like that and go to Bombay. Anyway, in those days, when we used to travel, we had coal trains. So whenever you travel, all the coal comes on your face and you look mucky by the time you reach Bombay. You wash your face in the meantime, but you look very hopeless. So all the Dada Chanji boys used to tease me. We were childhood friends, you see, because as a child when I stayed in Bombay, my father's house and Dada Chanji's house were just across the street. And my brother and we all used to play together. Anyway, that thing got finished. And then we went. Then every time I had a vacation or the Adi's car or Meherji's car was going from Bombay to Pune or Ahmednagar, Baba had told me if I had no classes in Bombay, I must get into the car and come to Pune. Most of the time Baba would be coming from Satara or from Nagar for some work or the other and I would see Baba there. So after my studies got finished, I had gone for summer vacation to Pune and Baba had come there. So Baba is telling me, when are you finishing your studies? I said, Baba, I have just sent my last batch of questions, answers to England. And when the reply comes, I come back. Baba said, all finished? I said, Baba, one thing I did not tell you. While I was studying, they were teaching nursing also in the same classes. And that was free. So I thought I would rather learn nursing because we have such a big, huge family. It will come handy any day so that I can do nursing to my family. Baba said, very nice that you learned. But I said, Baba, I have to give my exam in 6 months' time because my exams of nursing and the cutting diploma were at the same time. I could not study for 2 things at a time and be there in the same timing dates. So I said, Baba, only 6 months. Next semester, I will give my exam and come to Pune. Baba thinks and looks into my face and tells me, no, you don't give exam. You come here. I'm going to come very often now. You come. You don't give exam. As and when the time comes, you will know what to do. So I did not give my nursing exam and came back and stayed with the Jessawala family. From 1955 onwards, I was all the time staying with Eruch's family. That is when Baba used to come and Naja, Baba's Naja and Sai Mama, and they all taught me how to do the cooking. So I learned cooking. And then in 1957, Baba said to me that I want you to get married. I said, Baba, whenever I was a child and I used to go to the doctors have told me never to get married because my brothers and sisters have this polio. Baba looks at me, and then Dr. Gaver was nearby, so he tells her, come here, Gaver, take her inside and check her whether she is fit to get married or not. So I have been taken inside. Gaver examines me, brings me back and tells Baba, Baba, she is perfectly fit to get married. And Baba says, I want you to get married to Sam. I said, Baba, you say I will get married to anybody. In India, we girls don't ask questions to our parents if they tell us to get married. No, in my time at least. Not now. Now they find their own partners. Anyway, then Baba arranged at my marriage. My father was not there. My uncle Noshirwan Mama was there. So Baba calls my uncle Noshirwan Mama and tells him, I represent you as her father. Do you like her to get married to Sam? You are happy? He said, yes, Baba. If you say so, it will be. So then Baba says to Gai Mama and my mother-in-law, Banu Mama, come on, start the marriage, what you call clothes and jewelry and whatever we have to do for the wedding, start doing. So, and Baba fixed the date, 21st of March, 1958. Baba said, I will come for your marriage. Baba came 8 days before my marriage and stayed in my brother-in-law's house in Botanical Garden. That time, Baba wasn't staying in Guru Prasad. As long as my brother-in-law worked in Botanical Garden, Baba used to, for all his summers, used to come and stay in the garden quarters. And Baba came and stayed there. Whenever he came there, we would all move to Bindra House because Baba's and Manli's food used to go from Bindra House to Botanical Garden. Every day the car would come by 9:30 or so. We had to finish cooking everything. 2 meals packed in big vessels, Baba's tiffin packed, and it was driven to Botanical Garden. Anyway, so Baba had come. He was staying in Botanical Garden. And Baba told Eruch to represent, like how you give the bride away, like that. Eruch was told to give me. And for Sam, Eruch's father was standing there. Because he did not have his father. His father also had died in 1949. Anyway, so that is how our marriage got done. So now in 1958, Baba was coming to the West. And then after the wedding was over, Baba called us on the next day to see him in the Botanical Gardens. So we all went to see Baba in the Botanical Garden, then with all the presents that were given to us. And Baba went through seeing all the presents and all that. Then he looks at Sam and asks him, how much money did you get in your wedding? So Sam says, Baba, 3,500 rupees. Very well. He got nice money. In 1958, 3,500 rupees was great money. Anyway, and he asked Sam, where are you going to take her for honeymoon? Sam says, Baba, we are going to go to Delhi to see Taj Mahal. Baba puts his head on his forehead and says, you have gone round the world and you don't even know where Taj Mahal is? Taj Mahal is not in Delhi. It is in Agra. Oh, Baba, I'm sorry, I did not know that. So then Baba says to him, since you are going up to Delhi and you got good money, why don't you both go to Kashmir? Baba said to go to Bombay and arrange for going to Kashmir. So in that 3,500 rupees, we went to Kashmir for 20 days. We flew from Pathankot to Srinagar, and the rest of the journey was done in first class. Baba said to take me in great comfort. So we had a good honeymoon. When we came back, it was time for Baba to come to the West. So before we came, he had left the message with my cousins in Bombay that we had to go and see him at the airport. So, and in that year, a lot of my cousins also had got married. So we were 5, 6 young couples. We all went to see Baba off at the airport. Baba greeted. In those days, you had to go to the airport 3 hours before the flight. And there were no restrictions. You can walk here, there, anywhere. There were no restrictions. So the whole Bombay group also had come to to see Baba going. So everybody, Baba gave each one a greet. And then because we had just come from the honeymoon, Baba said to come specially close and he gave me a good hug. And then he asked Eruch to ask me whether I was pregnant. So I do like this. I felt so bad when, how can I speak in front of so many people? That too on the airport. I said, no, Baba, not now. Maybe after 3, 4 years we'll have. Baba said, are you gone mad? There are so many souls waiting to come into this world. No, no, no. By the time I complete my trip, you better be pregnant. I said, Baba, all right. I scratch my head and think, now, okay. And when Baba came back, he came back to Bindra house and asked me whether I was pregnant. I said, I think so, Baba. And then when I came to know that I was pregnant, Baba made Dr. Gaver write a big letter to one of the Pune's doctor who was a leading gynecologist by the name of Banubai Koyaji, that you must take care of this child because in her family they have this polio. All the 2, 3 children have got polio, so you must give her good medication, take care, this, that, and the other. Whatever the doctors have to write to each other, they wrote. So I had to go and see the doctor very often. And in India, when we are 7 months pregnant, our mothers give us nice new sari. Then it's like a small ceremony, like, you see. So Baba said to Kaimai, that ceremony I'll do for Roshan. So you all keep everything ready. And he told Rano to go with me to select a sari because he knew that at that time I was not knowing much about the materials and things, how to choose. And so Ranu had come with me to buy the material. And we got the sari, I stitched the blouse, skirt, petticoat, everything. And then Baba had come to Pindra house. Raima had prepared everything in a big silver plate. Means in those days, all kinds of grains are put together in one big tray with a big coconut, new clothes, sweet meat, and that is called hagani in Indian language. So Baba sat down on the sofa. You remember the sofa that is at Meherabad where Aloba sits under that clock? That was the sofa in Bindra house. Baba sat on the sofa and the plate was placed next to Baba. And then he gave me new clothes and told me to go and get dressed and come to me. I went and put on new clothes and came to him. So he told me to open my sari pallu. When we drape our sari, there is a big draping in front of us. So you open that, and then with his hand, he put all the grains in that and gave me some sweets to eat. And then he told me, usually what happens is the girl goes from her husband's house to her parents' house after that to stay for the rest of the 2 months. And after the baby is born, then she comes back to her husband's house. So we were both staying in the same house. So I had to go from the back door and come from the front door. Baba said, you go like this and come back like this. So I went from the side door, came from the front door, and Baba said, come back to me. So I went back, bowed down to his feet. Baba again greeted me. And then he put his hand in his pocket, coat pocket, and took out one silver rupee. In British time, the rupee was made of pure silver. He took out one rupee and put it on my hand and did like this. And he said, when you start getting pain for the birth, you keep that rupee in your hand all the time. So I had a new handkerchief with me. With new clothes, we always have a new hanky also. So I took out that new handkerchief, wrapped my rupee nicely and folded it up. Then Baba said to give it back to him, and then he again put it back in my hand and he said, you must keep it in your hand and repeat my name all the time, from the time you start your pain. And he told the rest of the family that she will be in the pain. So my name must not be stopped from saying. Everybody in the family has to take a turn and keep repeating his name till I gave the birth. And he told Gai Mama to be with me when I went in the hospital. So Gai Mama was with me in the labor room and saying Baba, 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 Baba near my head. And then when the girl was born, the nurses said, no, it is not a Baba, it is a baby. So when Gai Mama came near my little child and said Baba, Baba in her name, then they took her for bath and I was taken back to my room. And in 20 days, Baba came back from Ahmednagar for his summer vacation in Pune. That was the time when Baba stayed in Guru Prasad for the first time. So Baba had called me to go to Guru Prasad. So we all went to Guru Prasad. And then Baba said to me, from tomorrow, I will come every day to play with your baby. So he used to come every day between 1 and 2 to play with her. So we all after we finished sending Baba's food, we would all have bath, put on nice clean clothes, because when you do lot of cooking, your body and your clothes also smell of food. So we all used to get ready for Baba to come. And he would come 2-3 carloads of people. He wouldn't come only by himself. Some monthly. And in those summer time, Baba used to call Bombay people to see him. So a lot of people used to be coming most of the time to Pune. And then he would bring them, and it used to be very hot summer. And 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock is the peak heat time. So we used to keep one day sharbat, means lemon juice with sugar, and one day we would make buttermilk. So Baba would tell me to put the baby on the dining table. We would always keep everything ready. The baby would be put there. He would sit at the head of the table. And then we would be giving everybody to drink. In the meantime, he would sit with the little baby. He would have his drink, put his little finger in the glass and put it in the little baby's mouth, and she would suck Baba's finger. And Francis Brabazon always used to say, "Oh God, Baba, I'm very jealous of this baby. Very jealous of this baby. I feel like dying now so that you can play with me again." Baba says, "No, no, no. You have got lot of work to finish." "Oh, Baba, I'm very jealous of this baby." And every day to tease him, Baba would do something more. Yes, just to make him more jealous. And then Baba would go away. That time, in 59, all of a sudden, lot of Baba people would come, and that year was the peak season for the mangoes. Anybody who came to Baba would come with a basket of mango. How many mangoes could Mandli finish? So Baba would give each one a mango as a prasad to those who brought it. And most of the mangoes would come to Bindra house. Mandli would be eating, Bindra house would be eating. So by doing that, our Ranu also loved mangoes. So she started eating mango breakfast, lunch and dinner. In no time she was sick, because when it is very hot and if you eat mango, you are bound to get diarrhea. Anyway, she became very ill. Very, very ill. My little Mera also had developed some infection from the hospital, and she also had diarrhea. So Ranu and Mera were very ill. And every day when Baba used to come to Bindra house, my job was, as soon as I heard the horn, I would rush out with an umbrella to give Baba a hand, because that was after Baba's accident. So he needed little handling. So he would put his hand on my hand and get up from the car. And then I would hold umbrella with the other hand and walk him up the steps. So one day, Baba opened his car door, and that time Baba also had a stick in another hand. He opened his car door, put his right foot down, and with the stick, he drew 3 crosses in the mud. One big, another one little smaller, another one little more smaller. And with his left foot, he rubbed out one cross, he put his foot on that, and got my hand and got up. I thought there are two people very sick in the house. What was the third cross for? If somebody had to pop off, it would have been just two crosses and one who was to go would be wiped out. But no, Baba put his foot on the big cross and then got up. I noticed that, but I did not say anything. I went inside. Baba played with little Mehra and went and saw Rano. And Baba told Eruch's sister Manpur to go and squeeze 2 sour limes and put lot of sugar in that sour lime juice and melt the sugar till it is dissolved. She went, she did that. In the meantime, Gai Mama and I, we attended all of them giving drinks. Then Baba had his half drink finished, and then Baba told me to give him my hand and take him to Papa Jessawala's room. Papa used to sit in his room. So Papa was very upset that day. Very frightened and upset. When Baba went to see him, Papa tells Baba, whatever may happen, but don't let Rano die in my house. What will Parsi community say? An American lady died in my house? He was a big trustee in the community. Baba said, you don't worry, nothing is going to happen to Rano. But you keep taking my name. Baba, I have to take your name. And I pray that she won't die. Baba, Papa, you don't worry. Nothing is going to happen to Rano. And he made me carry that half glass of his sharbat to Papa. So, and then he sat down on a chair and he tells me to give that drink to Papa. So usually we had separate glasses for Baba and Mehra, which none of us family would use. Whenever it was Baba and Mehra wanted to drink, we would give them that special glass. So I started going towards the door to get another empty glass and pour out that sharbat to give it to Papa. So Baba says, there is no need to do that. So he took the glass from my hand and gave it to Papa and told him to finish that glass of sharbat. Papa drank that sharbat. Papa was hale and hearty. There was nothing wrong with Papa Jessawala. Nothing wrong. But then before going back to Guru Prasad, Baba instructed Meherwan, Eruch's brother, whatever may happen in the house, but today in the evening by 8 o'clock, you must be in bed. You don't have to worry about what is happening in the house. You must go to sleep at 8 o'clock in the bed. He said, yes, Baba. And then Baba went back to Guru Prasad. In the evening, we all had our dinner. Everything was finished. Papa also had his dinner. But all of a sudden, Papa was feeling very uneasy. So he called me, Roshan. So I went to his room. I said, what's wrong, Papa? Papa was having little heavy breathing. And he said, I am feeling something very bad. I said, okay. I gave him little water to drink. And I said, Papa, sit down on the bed. Don't try to exert. I took his pulse. The pulse was very, very fast. And I said, Papa, I think you are not well. Go to sleep. No, I want to go to the bathroom. But I said, I am bringing the commode towards your bed. You sit on that, don't walk that distance. No, no, I must go to the loo. And he was a very stubborn person. Okay. Then then I called Guy Mama and Manpur, and I took him to the loo, made him sit inside, and he became worse in no time. It was 15 to 20 minutes past 8 o'clock, and then he was perspiring, absolutely, very heavily perspiration. So I ran back to Meherwan and I said, Meherwan, Papa is very bad. You must come, because Gai Mama and Manpur, we took him to the bathroom, but I don't think we will be able to carry him back to his room. You must come and help me. He looked at the clock. I said, I will tell Baba what happened. You come. We can't ladies manage Papa. Papa was a big person, very heavy. So Meherwan came out of the bed, and with great difficulty, Meherwan and I took Papa back to his bed. And I told Meherwan, Guy Mama was fanning and Meherwan was saying, Papa, say Baba's name, Papa, Baba's name. He was saying Baba's name. I said to them, I'll rush to the doctor and bring him, because doctor was very close by, just not even less than 2 minutes walk from Bindra house, one building across. So I went there to Dr. Kola. He was our family doctor at that time. I went there and I told him about Papa's condition. And I told him, I think it is heart attack. I feel it is heart attack. But he said to me, Roshan, I have myself just recovered 8 days back from the heart attack. And doctors have advised me not to climb up the staircases. So my son has just given his MBBS exam and he has passed, but not yet received the certificate of his MBBS. So he will come and see what can be done. So I took his son Palu with me to Bindra house, and Papa was still, it was like a fish out of water. And so Palu says, Roshan, I can't do much. You go next door, there is Dr. Fonseca. You bring her in. She is a very highly qualified doctor. So I rang the bell, doctor came out, I took her to Bindra house. By that time, Papa had passed away. Anyway, so that time, Eruch used to come. Whenever Baba used to be at Guru Prasad, every evening, Eruch would come to Bindra house by 7 o'clock or so on his bicycle, stay with the family and go next day early in the morning back to Baba after his breakfast. So Eruch took the message to Baba that Baba, Papa has passed away. Then Papa Jessawala's body was taken to the place where the Parsi people say the prayers. And next day it was Papa's funeral. Early in the morning, the whole family was there, and early in the morning, Baba came at 7:30. Usually, our Zoroastrian prayers are done between 7:45 and 9:30. Anyway, Baba, 7:30, and we hear Baba's horn. So I went there, brought Baba in. As he's climbing up, he's telling Naja, I'm very hungry. Is any food ready? Naja says, Baba, we have just finished breakfast. Nothing is ready, even not the doll is not even washed. So Baba says, come on, hurry up. Then he looks at me and he says, go and bring your baby and put everything on the table. So I go bring the baby and put all a pile of napkins, then a bottle of water, bottle of milk, and that's all, and a rattler. That's all the things that are needed to take care of a little baby. And Jimmy Mystery had driven Baba at that time to Bindra house. And he looks at Jimmy and says, "You have 3 sons. You must be knowing how to take care of a little baby." "Yes, Baba, but I have never done anything like that. Rhoda does everything." So Baba says, "Don't worry. Together we will take care of this." And he tells me, "You go in the kitchen and help Naja." So I go to the kitchen and help Naja to start doing the cooking. You have to chop onion and other ingredients. You have to do a lot of things. So anyway, Baba wanted food to be cooked and he kept on snapping his finger. But Naja says, "Baba, in those days we didn't have electric stove. We had to fan the coal to start the fire. Baba, I'm doing as fast as I can. But if you keep snapping, I can't work faster than what I can." So Baba said to me, "Okay, go help Naja." So I would be running up and down where Baba was sitting and to fetch things, you see. And then I helped Naja. The food was cooked. And then Baba all of a sudden says, "I'm going to get nice hot bread from the Kayani bakery. Come on, Jimmy, let's go." So Baba gets again into the car and goes to the Kayani bakery. The funeral house is on Dasturmer Road, where our Baba house is. It's very close by. And the bakery is at the end of the road. So Baba goes from the other end towards that. Papa's prayers were just finished and his body was carried on a trolley to be taken to the Tower of Silence. Before his body was brought out of the gate, Baba drove slowly towards the bakery and bought the bread and waited there for Papa's funeral to come. And he told Jimmy Mystery to drive very slowly before the funeral. So Jimmy drove Baba's car as the funeral was coming from behind. And after, there is a place called Golibar. And then Baba took a turn from the Golibar corner and came back to Bindra house with hot bread. And he says, come on. So we had already prepared and kept everything ready on the table so that when he comes, we don't have to hurry up. So the food was prepared. Baba ate. I'd never seen Baba relish his food that much. He ate heartily. And then he waited for Gaimai and others to come home from the ceremony. And then said to them, "Don't worry, everything is going to be all right." Then again in the afternoon, Baba came to play with little Mera and others, ask about how is Rama and all that. And 4 days after Papa had died, the landlord who used to stay on the top of Bindra house on the first floor sent a note to the Jessawala family saying that now Papa Jessawala has died and I think you all will go and stay in Baba's ashram. Baba was very angry to receive that note because in the afternoon that note was read to Baba and then Baba told Merwan, Eruch's brother, to write a note back that we are not leaving this place. We'll see who goes first, whether we go first or you go first. So recently in 87, 88, I don't remember the year properly, Bindra house landlord sold the house to a builder. And the Bindra House family was given a notice that they want to break down, demolish the house, so they should move from here and go to Meherabad. Anyway, as soon as he sold the house, in 8 days, before 8 days' time, the landlord had a heart attack and he died. At that time, I remembered the word, who goes first? Whether you go first or we go first. But eventually the whole family moved to Meherabad and now they are happy there. Don't know what's the time. Oh, Jai Baba. And Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai. Anyway, I have made a very small sweet dish for you all to remember me. Is this? So I'll say Baba's favorite song. When he was Lord Zoroaster, he used to sing this song into the mountains. And Baba asked the Jessawala family and me to learn that song. And whenever he used to come to Bindra House, he would make us sing that. The song which he used to sing when he was Lord Zoroaster into the mountains. Rayoman Koreman Harvis Payaka Kerdegar Khudavande Khudavanda Padshah par hame padshah Negehadar Khale ke makhluk Al-Razak Roji Dehande Kade Rokvi O Kareem Bakshayande Bakshayazgar Meherabad Tawana Vodana Vodadar O Pak Parvardigar Adil Padshah Bizwal Pasha Ahuramasta Khuda Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai. Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai. Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai. Jai Baba.